I've ever heard. Seen, rather.
The
You
fuck
doing
in
that?
there.
Get down on them fucking knees.
Uh,
Think about surrendering.
okay. Give me a second.
Marshall, you got it from here?
Yeah.
Well, goddamn.
Sorry.
Make sure you're speaking up.
Well, he won't need to speak. I think I got the speaking done for all of us. Thomas, you know why you're here, partner?
Yep.
Are you sure you know why you're here?
My contract.
Let me tell you a story before you assume why you're here. All right? Because Thomas, listen, I'm a man of many words myself, but sometimes too many words can get you in trouble. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Thomas, listen. We're going to have a little story time. You're going to be real quiet, all right? Because if you miss the story, you're going to have a hard time understanding the message. And I really want you to understand the message, all right? Good
Mm-hmm.
job. You know, Thomas, once upon a time, I wasn't always the national president of Legion MC. I was a prospect like you. I was a member like you want to be. I was an enforcer. I was vice president. I was the president. I wasn't always just Johnny Maverick, Legion president, you know? I had to earn that shit, just like everyone in this fucking room has to earn every one of their stripes. Now, when I was a member, Thomas, I had this prospect who had a really bad habit of talking too much, saying too much. Just a real mouthy motherfucker, Thomas. And this prospect, brother, he gave me so much trouble. I had to talk to my enforcer about it. My enforcer's name was Louis. He's the biggest gorilla looking motherfucker you ever done seen in your entire fucking life. Guy was 6'7" easy. 300 pounds easy. Just the scariest sumbitch you've ever seen in your entire fucking life. You picking up what I'm putting down, Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Right. So I tell my buddy and my enforcer, I say, hey man, we got this prospect. Just won't shut his fucking mouth. All he does is run his fucking goddamn jaws everywhere he goes, whether he means to or not. Inconsequential. The motherfucker just doesn't know how to shut the fuck up. Now Louis says to me, well, you know where he's at? And I said, yeah, sure, I know where he's at. He's down there on Harwick. I said, okay, well, get in the fucking car. All right, cool. So we get in the car, Thomas, and we start driving down. We pull up right next to this motherfucker. He's in a car with his woman. I have never seen somebody that big and that scary grab somebody out of the back of a fucking car so quickly in my entire fucking life. Not ever in my entire life. He had him out of that car, and I don't know where the cinder block came from, Thomas, but he had him on the ground on the concrete. He had a cinder block in front of his elbow and behind his elbow. And he looks at me and he says, jump on that motherfucker as hard as you can. You know what kind of damage that would have done to that poor kid's arm? Would have broken his elbow for sure. Maybe some bones. Could have torn an artery. The kid could have lost his fucking arm, Thomas. I didn't. Back in the day, though, I just didn't have that kind of brutality in me. You know, I was innocent. I didn't know. I didn't know what the fucking tricks of the trade were then. I didn't know how to handle an MC then, right? So I told Louis, I go, man, looking at this guy, he's got big old doe eyes. He's got this nervous little grin on his face. I don't know if we need to do anything else. I think he got the point, man. Why don't we just let him go? Louis, being the big gorilla the fuck that he is, walks right up to me, Thomas, like this, right next to him, my ear, and he whispers in my fucking ear. He goes like this. He says, "If you want to make a statement, you have to make it permanent." I told Louis, I go, I don't know, man. I don't think that I got the guts in me to fucking stomp on this kid's fucking arm. It's gonna ruin his life. He might lose his fucking arm. And he leans back into me and goes, "Okay, you don't want to make a mark. You don't want to make a permanent mark. You break it, you buy it." And that was that. As fast as he said that, he grabbed that motherfucker, threw him back in the car with his bitch, and we took off. We were out of there. We went to have Malibu that night, man. It was a good night too. But I'll tell you one thing, something didn't really sit right in my stomach, Thomas. It just really didn't fucking hit right. You know what I mean? It just didn't feel good. You think that that's where the story would end, though. I was forgiving, and that guy would have learned his lesson. 7 years, Thomas. It took 7 years for that motherfucker to prove me wrong. 7 fucking years it took me to have that motherfucker prove me wrong. He robs a store in the middle of my fucking neighborhood, and he kills Louis's wife and his baby. 2 innocent lives dead. Now Louis is president now. I'm the enforcer and Louis is the president. It's been 7 years. I earned my stripes pretty quickly, Thomas. But here's the thing. The second we all found out the name of the shooter, I get a phone call, Thomas. I get a phone call from Louis. It says, "I need you to meet me at the clubhouse right now. We're going for a ride." I said, "Oh, fuck." Thomas, is he... I don't know what's going on, man. Am I about to go have to fucking meet his fucking mom? His widowing fucking family? The guy he just became a widower. Not 5 minutes later after he found out who did it, Thomas, he's calling my fucking phone. I'm real fucking nervous, Thomas, but I get in that car anyways because I'm not a pussy, right? I have to. Legion for life. LLDL, right? So I get in the fucking car and we start driving. And we're driving southbound on the 405 freeway. And we're coming out of the valley. We're heading directly towards where Louis lives. Now, I don't want to fucking face Louis' family. I don't want them to be like, "Oh, if only you had fucking given this man a lesson back in the day, this would have never happened. It's your fault that our fucking daughter-in-law is dead and our fucking grandbaby is dead and all this shit, man." I'm fucking sick to my stomach with having to think about facing that. And right then we make a right-hand turn on Canaan Dune Road. Canaan Dune Road goes up into the valley up there, and we start driving, and I'm immediately relieved, but it strikes me for a second. If we're not going to his family's house, then where are we going? So we go up the road a little bit ways. Canaan Dune ends up on Mulholland and Malibu Canyon Drive, and there's a big thicket there, Thomas, big thicket. And we step out of the vehicle, and Louis starts leading me through. He says, "Come on, let's go." And so we start walking through these fucking big weeds, man. I'm talking about big weeds. You and me stacked together wouldn't be able to see over the top of these weeds. And we're just kind of rifling through them. I don't know where the fuck we're going, partner. I'm starting to think, man, this guy's gonna shoot me. He's gonna blame me for fucking killing his wife and his unborn child. And I'm going to be at cause here because I didn't do what I was supposed to do back in the day and teach this motherfucker a lesson when I should have taught him a fucking lesson, Thomas. You understand what I'm saying to you so far? Do you understand that we wouldn't be where I was if I had just broken this fucking little kid's fucking arm? He would have never shot this woman and I would never be where I'm at. So as we're going through this fucking field of fucking weeds, we push through and finally we enter this just big circle clearing. Big circle. It's just a huge clearing. And I see 13 people, Thomas. 12 of them are wearing Legion cuts, just like me. One of them's on his knees near a shallow grave. I'll be goddamn, Thomas, it took me a little effort. But I recognize this motherfucker's face. Just barely. Because they had been tuning him up for hours. Hours, I'm telling you, Thomas, hours. Because looking at his fucking swollen ass head hurt me to look at it. It was so awful. And he had the same big ass deer eyes and it almost looked like a nervous grin if it hadn't been all for all the blood in his fucking missing teeth, Thomas. Louis comes up to me and he hands me a pistol. And there was the first thing I noticed about this pistol. Normally when we do shit, crazy shit, right? We wrap the pistol's grip in tape so we don't leave fingerprints. We can just pull the tape off later and ditch the bitch, and then, you know, there ain't no fingerprints. But there was no tape on this gun, Thomas. It told me one fucking thing. This kid's about to fucking die. This kid's about to fucking die. And there's no two ways about it because that gun has no tape on it, which means the gun is going in the grave with him. And the lye and the limestone that we bury him with is going to strip the fingerprints straight off that gun. No problem. But that's what it told me. Broke my fucking heart. I did this kid wrong. I could have broke his arm and saved his life. Instead, I saved his life to just have him end up in this fucking field somewhere off of Malibu Canyon Road in California. No family, no friends, nobody around. Louis shoves the gun into my hand, and he only said one sentence, Thomas. You know what the sentence was?
No.
You break it, you buy it.
Good night as well.
Let that be a warning. Let that be a warning to you. If you ever betray me, I will not make the same mistake I did with that prospect. I will not forget what happened with that prospect. You will have immediate repercussions. Pick them both up and get them the fuck out of here. Welcome to Legion, Thomas.